Good morning, and welcome to the first ever Park Christmas Savings Masterclass. Well, over the next 15 minutes, we're going to give you all the information, hints and tips you need to make this fantastic service work in your store and earn £1,000 per year. So, I'm Steve O'Neill. I look after corporate affairs and marketing at PayPoint. I'm also joined today by Catherine Scott, Marketing Director for Park Christmas Savings, and two of our Park retailer experts, Judy Mercer from Hamilton News in Belfast and Bae Bashir from Bellevue Stores in Middlesbrough. As you can see, we've got a lot to cover, including a reminder on what Park is, how it works, how you can earn from the service, and also hints, tips and advice from our retailer experts. We'll also cover all of the fantastic marketing and advertising support that you'll be getting over the next few months. If you have any questions during this masterclass, you can put them in the Zoom chat at any time. We're not going to have time today to go through all of the answers, so we'll collate a Q&A to share with you via email afterwards. So let's kind of start at the beginning. What is Park Christmas Savings? So Park is the UK's biggest Christmas savings club, helping over 350,000 families every year to budget for the cost of Christmas. They have access to a huge range of prepaid gift cards for over 140 of the biggest online and high street brands. So how does it work? Well, customers typically save around £500 over the year and then redeem their savings just before Christmas. As you can see from the customer feedback on screen, Park is a real lifesaver that helps them stay in control, reduces the stress of Christmas, and avoids getting into debt. This has become even more important during the current cost of living challenges. Now, it's only 35 days to Christmas this year, but it is only 401 days to Christmas 2024. As Christmas this year gets closer, people's minds are already turning to next Christmas, and customers are already starting to be early birds and beginning to save for next year. December and January are the peak recruitment months for savers for Christmas 2024, so it's really important that you get ready in your store. So, how can you earn £1,000 a year? This is one of the most important parts, and how you can earn from promoting Park in your store and encouraging savers to save. You have 3 opportunities to earn with the service. You get £10 for every saver that you recruit and that makes their first payment of £25 or more. This is where your point of sale is really, really important. The customer scans the QR code, which links it to your store and then signs up, meaning that you get the credit for it. At the end of the savings season next year, you'll get 3% commission on the total value that's been saved by the customers you've recruited in your store. And then for any customers that continue saving for the following year, you'll get an additional £5 per customer, effectively to kind of retain them to save into the next year. So if you look at what we kind of typically see on average, if you were to recruit 40 savers, each saving the average amount of £500, you'll earn over £1,000 over the course of this year from this service. It's probably really, really important to stress there is no limit on this. If you want to recruit more savers, you can, and you'll increase your earnings further. And you can track all of this on the Park Savings app on PayPoint One. So I mentioned earlier on that we've got 2 of our Park retailer experts with us today, Judy Mercer and Bae Bashir. They've been with us on the Park journey since the beginning and are going to share some of their experiences of how Park is working in their store. So firstly, I'm going to go to Judy. Morning, Judy.
Morning, Steve.
What would be your top 3 tips on how retailers can make the most of Park in their store?
Well, when we started with Park way back, I think it was August time, we felt we needed to surround ourselves with a lot of our members of staff. We needed to train them because they are our tool to try and talk to our customers, which talking to your customers is also a very, very good part of, because we know our customers and they're coming into us every day. So you know those people who have kids and maybe who really are struggling at the minute and need to start to save and think about saving between now and next Christmas. So it's a perfect platform for us to try and get our customers on board. We have already put Facebook out with social media, and we're currently going to do a leaflet drop next week, where we'll be able to talk to our customers who don't always come into the shop, but I use a delivery agent, and they're going to circulate in our area the leaflets that we've been given by PayPoint.
Fantastic. And Bay, if I can go to you, same question. What would be your top 3 tips on how retailers can make the most of park in their store?
I think the 3 main tips for me is really, first of all, I've incentivized my staff to really get on board with this. I'm not always in store, so my biggest driver would be to incentivize them with the bonuses that you spoke about earlier, Steve, and that gives them a real vision and a real drive to drive the park savings forward. I'm really a big advocate of it, because I think you can drive sales, drive footfall into your store. It's a win-win for everybody. And if we can incentivize them staff, that is a huge tool for me, because more people come in the store, the more opportunities that delivers for everybody. And the other thing is clear point of sale. Make sure you've got your good point of sale and plenty of it, distributing at key times of the year, and make sure that you always got it available and you're delivering it in the right way. It's always available. We've just got to get, make sure you've got plenty of it and it's displayed properly. And the third one really is I'm trying to get in a fun event around, giving back that money, and that's driving an occasion around Christmas, which is a fun occasion, a bit of in-store theatre. We haven't actually decided what we're going to do yet, but we're going to try and make it as big as we can to make it as fun as we can. People see across the road when things are happening, and people want to be involved, come and see what's happening and get them on board. And then you have key people, key members of staff to deliver that message and try and get more titles for the following year. And that gives incentivizes staff, good for the store, good publicity, and it'll be a win-win for everybody, I think.
Fantastic. Lovely. Well, thank you both for that. I think lots of really good, practical, interesting ideas about sort of how to bring it a lot to life in your store, and obviously kind of thinking about your customer, your area, your store, and what will work best for you. So I think we've talked a little bit about how to make the most of it in store, but now we're going to talk about what it will mean from a national advertising perspective. So I'm going to hand over to Catherine, who's going to take you through what's happening from a marketing and advertising perspective.
Thanks, Steve. Morning, everybody. So our advertising campaign for the 2024 season has already commenced. It's a £2.5 million investment, and it covers many channels, starting with digital advertising, predominantly on Facebook and Instagram from October, to press advertising from November, and then TV from December, but supported very much by PR, content, direct mail, email, etc. It's designed to build the awareness of park pre-Christmas, to start those conversations, and then convert them to customers post-Christmas. Next slide, please, Steve. So the bulk of our spend is on TV advertising. Last year's campaign, which did feature our twerking turkey, brought the highest park awareness to date. And our schedule will mean that 32 million people will see this advert on average 8 times. That's nearly half the UK population. Now, the creative itself, the twerking turkey, is not everybody's cup of tea, but it's very memorable, and it's worked really well to date. And all of your point of sale aligns with that creative. So please make sure that it's up and people can see that, because they'll have that recall from seeing it on TV or any social channel. Next slide, please. We do have some regional press advertising that's already commenced, and it's detailed on all of these newspapers from the 15th of November through to January. And what we have is we have a front cover strip, and then we've got a full page inside, which details stories from our existing agents. And also there's a call out to the PayPoint stores within those papers. Again, you probably sell those papers in those stores. So it is a conversation point with your customers. Next slide, please. We've got national press advertising in women's interest magazines. Again, you may sell these in your stores. It's a mixture of real life stories from our existing agents, as well as agents' adverts themselves. Next slide. There's a lot of social media and email activity, and we are providing you with our social media assets. Any customers that you sign up will be receiving emails on a regular basis. you could also see these emails and social media activity. If we go to the next slide, PR and content. Now, all of this is detailed on our Facebook page, and I would encourage you to sign up to our Park Life Facebook page. It's exclusive to agents. So you will see our PR activity, all of our social assets, and then partnerships. So we're working with TV psychologist Emma Kenny at the moment. And we've also had some recent really good coverage with Martin Lewis. I'm going to pass back to Steve to talk about point of sale.
Lovely. Thanks, Catherine. And just following on that track, so hopefully you've all received your point of sale already. And as Catherine said, that all kind of matches into the national activity that's going to be happening over the next couple of months. So you've got posters, leaflets, and things to kind of stick up in your store. We've also kind of made available to you a stack of social media assets that you can use on your own channels and that will continue to refresh as we go. But I'd also reiterate what Catherine said, is that sign up to the Park Life Facebook page, and that's a cracking way of finding out about the latest things that are kind of happening, and also about sort of finding and sharing resources. We've also got some additional materials to support you and your teams. So we're conscious that not everybody knows exactly what Park Christmas Savings is. So we've got a couple of fact sheets that we're going to be kind of providing to every single store. So it's just a quick reference guide for you and your teams to make sure they know the main bits of information, and they can have those quality conversations with customers, as well as some information that you can put into emails as well. Now, I think POS is one part of it, and certainly kind of you can see from some of the pictures, and you might recognize a couple of people in those photos, that actually kind of like it's really good about sort of putting it in kind of key areas, high traffic areas, and where you can get visibility. But also kind of, as I mentioned earlier on, there is the Park Christmas Savings app, which sits on PayPoint 1, and that enables you to keep track of the savers you've recruited, how they're doing, and more importantly, how you're doing in terms of heading towards that £1,000 per year. So I'd really, really encourage you, if you haven't already, to check that out, have a little look around. It's going to be a really good way of you keeping track of how you're doing, as well as keeping track of how your customers are doing over the course of the year. And then we're also kind of sending out a top tip. So just a kind of 3 simple tips around getting ready for that December and January peak for saver recruitment. So that will be kind of going out shortly, and just really, really focusing in on, is your POS up? Are you having the right conversations now? And how do you keep track via the PayPoint 1 app? So if you haven't received your point of sale, or you need more because you want to do leaflet drops like Judy mentioned, please send your site ID to the email address that's on the screen, and we can get more out to you. We're really, really keen to make sure that for those who need it, you get what you need to make this a success in your store. So please use that if you need to kind of, because the next couple of months are going to be really, really key to recruiting those savers. So that is the end. We promised this would be 15 minutes, and I think we're kind of coming in underneath that. So well done, everybody. I think that's the end of the masterclass. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Judy, Bay and Catherine for sharing their hints, tips and information about how to make Park Christmas Savings a success in your store. Remember, really, really important over the next week, make sure your point of sale is up, start the customer conversations now, and track how you and your savers are doing using the Park app on PayPoint 1. So thank you, and go get those savers over the next few weeks. Thanks very much.